Just about anyone can open some editing software and make an edit, but very few people know where to place that edit. Today that's going to change. I've been a pro editor for over 20 years, and I'd like to invite you into my edit suite so I can share a unique exercise that will help you practice editing on action. Stick around to the end for one of my best tips. For this exercise, I downloaded a stock footage story collection from Artlist called Detective. Check the links below so you can follow along. Even though this is an exercise to practice editing on action, I always recommend taking a little time to set up some context. My 5 editing criteria, in order of importance, are emotion, story, rhythm, sound, and action. For emotion, let's embrace the detective theme and try to evoke a sense of suspense from our audience. For story, I already chose 5 shots and put them in order to tell a little story. Rhythm and sound will go hand in hand on this exercise. I downloaded a music track from Artlist that has a nice suspenseful feel, and I'd like to use that to help drive the rhythm of the piece as well. Now that we have some nice context, let's watch the 5 raw shots, and then we'll dive in shot by shot and select some in and out points. For shot 1, we have a few different options for the action of this shot. Let's take a look. We have the detective discovering the folder, we have her touching the folder, we have her pulling the folder off the shelf, and we have her starting to read the folder. And then we even have a shot of her walking away. I think for the purposes of our story, I'd like to show her maybe glancing up to the folder and then pulling it down. So if I want her to pull the folder off the shelf, I might start where her fingers are settled, and I'm going to choose this as my endpoint. I like this out point before the folder comes up in this little corner right here. You see that? So her eyes settle, the folder settles. Nothing new to draw your eye to. So for a shot like this, I would try to choose the most interesting part of the shot. So let's scrub through and see what we think. I think I like the part of the shot where it's a little closer, kind of past the edge of this bookcase here. And I do want to capture a piece of her sitting down. And so I'm going to start with her pushing back from her desk. And maybe I want her to end zooming over to this section. So that'll be our out point for now. This next shot, we have the detective typing on a typewriter. So when I'm thinking of action, I'm thinking about what the camera move is, what the actor's doing, what her hands are doing, what the typewriter's doing. I'm going to try to cut in here. And there's a nice click there that feels very definitive. I'm going to set that as my out point. And then we have her continue typing here. So I'm looking at the camera movement. What do I want to see in frame? For me, I'm drawn to this part of the shot. And I think I want to cut in before her finger comes down and presses a key. That's going to be my in point. And let's find a nice out point. I like those key presses. That's going to be my out point. And finally, the last shot where she types help. I want it to type right when we cut to this shot. So the frame before will be my end point. And I think we only want one exclamation mark for our story. So that's where I'm going to cut out. Let's turn on our music and see how that ended up. And now for a challenge. Let's say you showed this to a collaborator and their feedback was, "Wow, I love the story, but I imagined it happening a bit faster. Can you try one at a brisker pace?" So here's what I would say. I'm going to ignore the in and out points to start, and I'm going to change the duration of the clips to be faster and to match more with our music track. So I quickly changed the duration to some of these shots, and I really let the music guide me. And this brings me to one of my best tips. It's actually a tool I use, and it's one you can find in most editing software. It's called the slip tool, and it will actually show me the in and the out points at the same time in the program monitor. So this tool is perfect when you have a clip set at a duration you want to maintain, but you want to fine-tune that in and out point. So let's look at shot 1. I'm going to try shifting this just by 2 frames. So this is about where we initially had it. And I'm going to slip it 2 frames. So I'm effectively cutting 2 frames off the head and adding 2 frames to the tail with the same tool. Another great feature of this tool is that it also shows you the frame before you cut to this shot and the frame after you cut to this shot. I'm going to slip shot 2 8 frames back. So we start with the detective on the right side of the room and end with her on the left side of the room. Now for shot 3. I'm going to try slipping this back by 13 frames. Shot 4. 1 frame back, okay? And then on our help, just for fun, let's use the slip tool to add a second exclamation mark. So let's watch this second rough cut where we incorporated some client feedback and used our slip tool to adjust our in and out points. If you got value out of this video, please subscribe, and you might want to check out my free editing guide, which you can download at the link in the description. If you enjoyed this editing exercise, then you should definitely watch this video next. Happy editing.